So this is where we're at today. This cluster is driving me crazy. It might be part of my OCD. I'm not sure, but I have multiple extension cords here because all these cameras have different plugs. The router, modem, whatever has different plugs. The DVR is a plug, the TV is a plug. So this just isn't working for me. So in my garage at the house, I have had this GFI bar, I don't know, probably about 2 or 3 years I've had it in there, and I obviously no longer need it in there. So what I'm going to do is mount this to the wall right there, and I'm going to plug everything in here into its own plug, and then have one plug plugged into the wall. And then I can zip tie all these together, get them all tucked behind the TV, and make it look much nicer, neater, and cleaner. So that's what I'm going to do next, because it needs to be done. So, not perfect by any means. I still have a little cluster right in here I got to deal with, but way cleaner, way neater than what it was. So now I don't have 20 cords going down there. I don't have big coils over there. Much neater and cleaner. And as of right now, I have 4 cameras set up on here, or 5 cameras set up on here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th camera is mounted already, wires run. I just need to put the extension on that comes through the ceiling there where I ran short. And I got a whole box of extensions right there. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. But I have something else I need to attend to first. So in yesterday's video when I installed this Proslide on here, I had questions about a certain part. It would be this part right here that came as part of the mounting bracket. And with this on it and the bracket up against it, the bolts weren't long enough to go through. So many of you commented in that video and told me the reason why this bracket is there. Come to find out, there are a lot of machines where the back of them are such a thin metal. Skag, that's not an issue, and I probably won't have a problem with this leaving it as is, but I'm going to change it anyway just because that's the way it's supposed to be. So what this is for, that many of you have told me yesterday, and I'm only stating this because there's some of you that don't know, but what many of you have given me feedback on and told me about this yesterday was that this is actually supposed to go inside. So you have the back flat plate for the machine there. This goes inside, and then the other bracket goes on the other side, and the bolts go through, kind of pinching the back piece here of the machine in between the two. Now, the back of the machine on the Skag is actually thicker than this, okay? So this is just under 1/4 of an inch thick, I would say, and the back of that machine is just over 1/4 of an inch. So, like I said, I don't think it'll be an issue on this machine, but apparently on a lot of other machines, having that plate on there with just that front one like that, it is torn the metal or ripped. I don't know. I would have to say that would be under extreme conditions because I've always had sulkies mounted to the back of machines. And I'll give you an example. This big plate here from the two-wheel Velke, I have always had this just mounted right to it with nothing in the back, just the bolts like you see with the nut and a washer on the back. On, let's see here, from, throw that over there, from my old very first Skag belt drive walk behind to the Bunton walk behinds I've had to the Toro, what the heck was that thing called? I can't remember that. Toro 36 I had for just a short time, Proline or something. From that machine, I've had multiple Ferris mowers from 36 to a 48. I've had a 52 and a 61 inch, all Ferris walk behinds. I've always had them the same way, and the smaller mounts that go on looks just like that, only it's not the big plate. It's pretty much just the round part that the pin slides through with the two bolt holes. Same thing on those. I've never had anything like this on any of those machines over the years, and I've never had an issue. Never with anything ripping, tearing the metal, anything like that. That being said, one of the Ferris machines I bought used, the 48, that back plate, which was pretty thin. It wasn't a 1/4 inch thick. It was a lot thinner than that. There was a flat plate, like a bigger plate like that, welded on there that the last owner had done. So maybe he tore it, maybe he had that issue, but also it might be difference with having a wheeled sulky Velke behind versus this plate, and maybe that might be why. So either way, for whatever reason that this is in there, like I just told you the reason, but for whatever setup you have, you may or may not want to use this. Like I said, I really don't believe it would be an issue with this because the backing of this Skag is super thick, and I really don't see you doing any damage to that thing, even with somebody far high. I'm 210 pounds, so even somebody heavier than me, I don't see it being an issue. But it's here, I have it, it came with the kit, and the manufacturer recommends you use it no matter what, so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna pull this pin out of here real quick, drop this Proslide off there, take them two bolts out, and then I'm gonna stick this up through the back and run the bolts back through. I believe when I tried to initially put it on with the mounting bracket up against this and then the whole thing flat against the machine like that the bolts weren't long enough. I believe that was an issue yesterday. So putting this on the inside, you're still that same thickness as I would have been doing it the other way. But in that case, I have other hardware over here, and I'll just put longer bolts through it. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna see what happens. So as I shown in yesterday's video, you just pull this pin off, which I haven't replaced yet. I said in yesterday's video the clip I'm gonna use. And then you just pull this pin out, and it comes right off. So that's that. That's all you have to it. And now I can just pull these bolts off here and pull this plate off here and shove that other plate up behind there, and I should be good to go at that point. Run some new bolts through it. I must have cranked it on there pretty good yesterday because the bolts are out. There we go. Now it's off. So that plate that I'm talking about will go right in behind there. And the way that it goes in, it's actually going to have to come around. To be honest with you, there's a piece back there. I don't know if that plate will even go in there. Dag nabbit, it hits right there. So I wonder if it'll go. I have to do a little investigation here. I think there might be other stuff in the way up there that keeps you from even getting that plate in there. Because it appears that there's a reinforcement piece of steel that comes from the top. I'm gonna try to get you guys in there and show you. I don't think I can even get that plate in there. There is a piece of reinforcement steel that comes from this top down to this piece at an angle. I can feel it in there. And it pretty much runs, yeah, it would definitely keep me from being able to run that plate up behind there. Plus, the back of these holes are reinforced with even thicker material. That's crazy. I don't know if I can get you guys up in there, but I'm sure gonna try because I want you to be able to see this. Let me get a flashlight so I can put some light under there and maybe you'll be able to see it. So I do have this new light right here. Plugs in, it's rechargeable. I was watching some guy's channel and I saw this light on there and I can't remember for the life of me who it was, but you can bend this thing all over the place, 180 degrees, and it's magnetic. And this thing is super freaking bright. It has 2 different levels and it has a flashlight like at the end there. That thing's pretty nice. I can't remember. I think it was one of them no-name channels. I can't really remember where I saw this, but it's like a lightsaber. You know what I mean? Just But anyway, super cool. So thank you to whoever's channel that was. I don't remember, like I said, but we're going to use this under there and see if I can show you guys what this looks like. So y'all definitely got a better view of it than what I can see looking under there, but I stuck my hand there and I could feel it with my feelers in there, feeling around. Yeah, I could feel it in there. So you definitely, I'm sure that showed up pretty good, and I'll notice when or I'll check it when I watch the playback on this, but yeah, I probably should have just left it alone and left it the way it was, because I don't think I'll have any issues with the back of this steel bending, tearing, cracking, ripping, anything of the sort. I think it'll be perfectly fine, and it's really not going to matter anyway, because there is absolutely no way I'm getting this plate in there. Well, that's about it. So that's back on. No big deal. Comes on off pretty easy. But the only thing I did different is when I put the bolts back through, instead of using the lock washers and the nuts that it came with, I put well, it came with the bolts, a flat washer, a lock washer, and a nut for each side. I put the bolt, a washer, and a lock nut in there instead of the regular nut with the lock washer. So I just like them better. I feel better about it, so that's what I did. But that's back together, and I don't know. You never know unless you try it, right? So this plate will just sit here now. I don't need it. I'm sure I will find a use for it somewhere, somehow. I did get my Raid Wasp and Hornet Killer. If you guys remember from last year, we never even saw bees, Billy and I, wasps, hornets, nasty little bastards. We never even saw them till the end of the season. It was so weird. Like, we didn't see any all season long, and all of a sudden they were everywhere. We both got stung a number of times, but by that point, you couldn't find it. There was no spray anywhere. Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, everybody was sold out. On Amazon, they barely had any, and it was expensive as hell. So those 3-packs were $11 a piece at Sam's Club when I went there the other day, and I bought 4 of them. So now we got some. I think by the time I did find some at the end of last season, I bought a whole bunch, and I think I have 4 or 5 cans of that left in the enclosed trailer. So we'll have those, and we'll have all these for this year. Hopefully we'll be good. If we need more than that, I don't know. I'm gonna switch to brake parts clean and a lighter, and we'll just take care of them that way. Let's see what else we can get into today. So, funny thing, there's my truck down there. It was snowing like crazy for about 2.5, 3 hours. It just hammering down. All these yards that are green were white, like pure white. Nothing really stuck to the roads or the driveways, but that's all that snow they said we were supposed to get. A couple of you messaged me and asked me if we were getting the snow. They call for 4 to 6 in our area, then they changed it to 2 to 4. And I don't know. Everybody I know that got it said that when they had it, it left a couple inches on the grass, and the grass turned white, and then within an hour or two it was melting and going away. That's exactly what happened here. I am in no hurry to dig these 2 suckers out of here. Not that it'd be that hard. All I gotta do is pull the truck and trailer out, drive in here with the other truck, hook up the V-blade and go. But I have absolutely zero desire to do that. I already sent my customers letters like you guys know, and I plan on starting to mow next week, and that's still on schedule. That's not gonna change. So a bunch of you mentioned in yesterday's video, comment on the video, when you saw me back and forth like that ship in the Suez Canal, or Austin Powers for that matter. A bunch of you had mentioned that I should put a side ramp on this trailer. I've thought about that before, and I've actually seen trailers with a side ramp, and I thought to myself, what's really the point? It can't be to the point where you really need one that bad. But you guys are exactly right, and that would definitely come in handy on this trailer with having that 36 on there. Couple issues. One, I would have to move this trimmer rack that I put here. You guys know why I switched to that trimmer rack. That reminds me, I gotta change this edger blade and put one of my regular ones back on there. But you guys know why I moved the trimmer rack here. So at that point, I would then have to switch that. I do not want the ramp on this side, because if you guys remember when I made this video of moving all my racks around, why I don't have anything on this side. If you don't remember, go back and watch that video, and then you'll hear me explain the whole reason why I don't put anything on this side of the trailer. Okay, so I definitely don't want the ramp there, mainly for the reason, drop it down in the road, and you got to pull the mower off in the road. If anything, I would want it on this side to drop it down right into a yard, drive the mower off, put the ramp up, mow, put the ramp back down, drive it back on. Easy peasy, right? It would be really nice to do, and I really like that idea. But at that point, you have to remember, on these trailers, I know a lot of people think you can just cut into these rails and cut them off and change them and do different stuff. With these open trailers, okay, this rail system that you have down the sides all the way around is part of the structure of this trailer. It's not like they just built a trailer and you can run it down the road and, you know, they decided to weld on some railings along here just for looks or so that you can mount trimmer racks or whatever. They're actually part of the structure of this trailer. So if you cut a hole in there, you have to re-brace that to make it solid, so you're not taking the weakness out of the structure of this trailer. Okay, a lot of people don't know that or understand that. So it's not that it can't be done, it's just that it would take, you really have to think it out before you do it, and you have to redesign it. So it can be done. It really wouldn't be all that difficult to do it, but I really think at that point, I would just go buy a trailer that already has that side ramp on it. Now, I've mentioned before, this 36 is a mower that's a limited use mower. This thing might see 6 hours a week, okay? It's a very limited use mower, but that 6 hours a week was like way, way above that, what I was push mowing, which is why I got this mower, okay? So, you know, I've been over this 100 times, why I went with this 36 and why I went with a walk behind and not a stander. You know, it's a very limited use mower for me. I'm not going to be using it all the time, but I want it to be as efficient as it possibly can be for the time I am going to be on it, which is why I went with the Proslide, and that's why I went with a rapid adjust deck and the hydro instead of a belt drive, so on and so forth. But that being said, somebody also recommended I should switch it over to a key start and put a start on it versus a pull start. Again, it starts super easy with that pull start. It's not like the old mowers where really you're tugging the heck out of it and killing your shoulder trying to start it. It starts very easily and very limited use. How many times am I really going to pull that thing to start it up for as much as I'm going to use it? You see what I mean? So it's just not worth it for me to change it over to a key start. I have no issues with it like this. Imagine if I was 110 pounds and I had my muscles look like kneecaps on a sparrow. I guess if I was weak or lazy or something along them lines, then it would be worth it on a limited use machine, but I'm not lazy, I'm not weak. It's not a big deal to pull start that mower. So it's the only mower after pull start. So just wanted to clarify those two things up. A lot of questions about switching that to key start and a lot of questions about making this mower or this trailer with a side ramp right here to get that on and off easy. So as of right now, I'm not gonna do either one. No need to make that a key start. And as far as many times as I'll take it on and off the trailer, it's really not gonna be that many times for all the work and the cost of steel right now. all the fabricating, everything I'd have to do to put a ramp over here. It's just not worth it. Not right now. So I have a mulch job to do tomorrow. It's a really small one. There's 3 yards of brown mulch. I do it every year. Not a big deal. But there's a couple issues that come into play with that. One, my nephew's out of town. He can't help. I text Billy and said, hey, any interest in helping me sling some mulch in the morning? He said, not really. Big surprise. Unless he's mowing. He's not really into landscaping, which I can't really blame him. Most people don't like, not most people, but a lot of people don't like landscaping. They just want to mow, and for the longest time I was the same way. So he doesn't really want to do mulch. Plus it's going to be a high like 40 degrees. But I got to get this done anyway. So I texted my brother and he said, yeah, absolutely, I'll be there. So my brother's going to help me do the mulch in the morning. The problem is, from that mulch we did the other day, I also had to stop at a customer's house and grab like six 6-foot lengths of fence, wooden fence that have fallen down. One of them I'm very thankful of because it was blocking me getting into the backyard with a big mower. Now that's gone. He doesn't have any intentions of putting them back up, so that'll make mowing really nice this year. But anyway, they're all sitting in my dump trailer, so I have to get them out of the dump trailer, which is no problem. And then I need mulch, but I got to get mulch from Spencer in the morning, and he's gone with his crew by like 7:30, and I'll really be rushing in the morning. So I don't have a receiver in this truck. I don't know why. I have like 10 of them. I should just put one in this truck and leave it in here, but I'll be using the other truck to pull the dump trailer tomorrow anyway. So I'm now headed to my shop to grab the other truck, and then I'm going to go to where my dump trailer is because it's not at my shop. And I'm going to get those fence pieces out of there, and then I'm going to go to Spencer's this afternoon when he gets back from working and have him load me up with the mulch tonight. And then the mulch will just sit in my trailer, and I will already have it for the morning, and I will be ready to go. So that's the plan. So now I got to go get that truck, and we're going to go have Spencer load us up with some mulch. I remembered that no-name channel that I saw that flashlight on. Turns out it was a fancy channel. It was Spencer, Bow Enterprises channel. That's right. You know why I remembered? Because I had to come and get mulch. Brown mulch. Spencer loves being on camera. He just doesn't film enough himself, so he gets special treatment when I start filming for him. a stellar job you did there, Spencer Lilly.
I've done this a few times, believe it or not. So, and this time you have to call me at wake me up. I was already awake for.
I know. Does my fee include you throwing my wheelbarrows back in there? Nah, it looks good. No, it's nice and dark. It's a good color.
Yeah, it's called natural.
I like that. My neighbor last year had some guy, not last year, a couple years ago, had some guy put down some brown mulch. It was really nice. I think he got it from Krantz or something, and it was called chocolate mulch. And it was a nice color. But
I've always found that brown mulch always fades.
yeah,
Faster than black does.
I hate brown mulch. I never use it. Well, I don't hate it, but I hate red mulch. Brown mulch is.
I don't know anybody. When we did red mulch a couple years ago, we used to buy bags.
Yeah.
Because red mulch was so crappy around here. We bought a whole pallet of bags from one house.
I had a customer one year had me put down cedar mulch, and that was all bagged because he had a problem with bugs, and he said it keeps the bugs away because they hate the smell. So he had me put down a ton. It was probably almost 2 pallets of cedar. He ordered it. It was all sitting there waiting for me when I got there. No,
Black
it
mulch
definitely
is
wasn't.
where it's at.
Black mulch is the way to
I'm
go.
already up to, what's my number? I think I'm already up to about 75 yards spread.
You put down 75 so far, all out of the
Personally, with one other guy.
out of the bark blower. Yep.
100% of the mulch so far. So.
If you guys haven't watched that video, when did you put it out? 2 days ago?
Tuesday.
Oh, you're getting a fire call. You gotta go.
That's a message.
But Tuesday, he put up a video using the bark blower. He did 1 or 2 last year as well, but I told you guys about that thing. So anyway, he did this mulch job and he sent me pictures and said, guess how many yards? And I said 4.5, 5 yards maybe. He said, nope, 2.5 yards. That's how even that machine lays that mulch. Makes it a lot easier too, doesn't it? Cuts down on labor, cuts down on wheelbarrow and mulch.
No wheelbarrow. The only time we use a wheelbarrow now is for cleaning up, so we're going to have to get left behind from the other guys. The only time wheelbarrow comes off the truck.
Nice. All right.
Messy, but
Like-
sometimes.
Makes life a lot easier. How many yards do you think you'll put down this year?
I'll probably get close to 1,000. I'm going to start keeping track.
You'll put down about 1,000 yards of mulch this year? That's a lot of mulch. Holy crap. I think in my busiest year I put down maybe 150 in my busiest year. 1,000 yards of mulch.
There's one tractor trailer over there that was 75. There's 2 loads over there that were 60 and 75 each. And then out there at the site we had 120 dumped.
You had 120 dumped right at the site? And you got a machine
These
there.
are for just our local close properties.
So you have a machine there to load into the bark blower? Nice.
Right parking lot.
And how many yards does that thing hold? 5, right? Jeez.
20 yards a day. Like I said before, I don't care about how many yards I can put down. I care about how many square foot I cover.
Right.
So I can spread 100 yards of mulch in an hour with the machine. How far can you stretch that?
You can spread 100 yards in an.
If you take a machine, like a skid steer, and just push a pile of mulch around, push 100 yards of mulch, that's right out.
Right.
You're only going to cover so much. So I don't care about how many yards. People say, oh, I can do more yards. Okay, well, how much square foot can you cover?
Right. So if you ran that machine non-stop for an hour straight, that bark blower spreading mulch, how many yards do you think you could put down in an hour?
If I had to not move at all,
Yeah.
I could just set up and blow out. I could probably put about 10 yards an hour through it. With just wide open, you know, like this berm.
Right.
Berms and stuff, you don't have to move it all. You do 10 yards an hour, full speed.
That's crazy. All right, I gotta load these wheelbarrows up. Okay, so we're all loaded up and ready to do mulch in the morning. I have my brother helping me. So tomorrow's video, we're gonna do mulch. I've never really done many I don't think I've done any time lapse. I think I've attempted to once or twice and completely screwed up the footage. So that's gonna be the goal for tomorrow. I'm gonna set the camera up and try to do a full time lapse of us doing mulch. So that's the plan for tomorrow's video, time lapse mulch. So we'll see how that turns out. That should be pretty cool. And if it turns out the way that I want to. So anyway, thumbs up, thumbs down, guys. Share the video, comment down below, and let me know what you think about Spencer's mulching capabilities. I think it's pretty damn impressive. That's pretty awesome. So I mean, especially compared to the way that I do it, but it isn't worth it for me to buy some machine like that. 1,000 yards of mulch a season, that's crazy. But God bless them for having the work, man. That's awesome. I love to see anybody succeed. So, all right, so that's it, and we'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.